Welcome to another Fusion update, and today I want to basically just talk about a recent book that I have read. It's called Icarus Fallen by Chantal Delsol. She's a French philosopher, and generally I don't recommend newer books. This is a 6-year-old book, but I don't usually recommend newer books. I recommend old books because I believe things have been said and they've been said better. Now, that doesn't mean everything has been said when it comes to technology and as science progresses, but as it comes to the things that deal with humanity, when it deals with the heart, when it deals with the mind, when it deals with relationships, I think most of those things have been said very well by people many, many years ago. But with Icarus Fallen and Chantal Delsol, in the book, she's dealing with finding the meaning of life and the way to interact with each other in society. And there's a lot of depth to her book, so I only want to take a small portion and talk about how it might relate to us today and the work that we're doing here at Alinsco. And that is along the lines of roles versus function. So let me read something to you from the book. She writes, "To take on a role is very often a response to a felt moral obligation. In a sense, the person inherits the role because of the position he is in, the responsibility he has accepted, or the irreplaceable experience he alone can draw upon." When we talk about roles and functions, let me just kind of give you a real basic example. We all want clean drinking water, and someone has a responsibility for ensuring that our drinking water is free of toxins. Now, that may be done with software, different tests that are run that may or may not be manual. It may be something that's done through a machine as the water passes through the machine, it's identified. But either way, someone has to test that water, or someone has to manage that software, or someone has to look at the results out of that software to ensure that you and I have clean drinking water. So this can be looked at as a function where someone checks to see if the drinking water is pure. And if we look at it as a function only, then we would say, oh, well, anyone can fill that function. We can teach this person this same method. They'll be able to do this function and test the water. But the reality might be that particular individuals are not suitable for doing this function. They may be bad actors. They may be apathetic actors. They may be good at it. They may not be good at it. They may have a heart for it. They may not have a heart for it. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to the person who's doing this function, is do they really care about what they are doing, and do they understand the depth of what they are doing, how important it is to do this and be thorough about it, to look for errors, to recheck, to come up with new ideas, to inform others how they can participate with them, ensuring that you have clean drinking water. This is a person that's not just doing a function. This person is taking on a role. And we all have different roles to play in life, things that were built into our genetics through our experiences that we can take and apply to the life that is happening around us, as opposed to just filling a function. Our society failures largely stem from this calamitous idea: the development of the functionalized society gives rise to human disasters which cannot be remedied unless the importance of roles is recognized. And I want you to know at Alinsco, we recognize the importance of roles, the things that you are doing. There are functions that we're all doing on a daily basis. But if you've not caught the vision for how you can play a role, not only in this environment, but others, then you're really missing out on the opportunity to greatly contribute. We're not looking for folks that we can replicate, where we can just stick somebody back in this function, this function, this function. We're looking for somebody to own that function, to develop that function, to turn that function and give that function meaning for our clients, for our organization, for your peers. Someone that is in customer service can take a customer service call and answer basic questions, but somebody who's playing a role has an interest in solving the problem, in helping the person who's on the other end of the call. That is someone who has stepped into the role of customer service. And that goes along the lines with claims, whether it's accounting, doesn't matter what function that's happening. It is a service role, a caregiving role that truly makes that person different, other than just going through functionalities. So let's look at some things that we should consider if we want to play out a role. The first thing is to consider your life's work. Your life's work. What is your life about? And since you're spending so much time in a function or doing a job, you should look at that and wonder, is there something that role that I can play in this reality so that I can catch a vision for how this contributes to society? And I've said it a million times to our staff, insurance is an honorable business. It is an incredible business. We guard and protect our economies, which means we guard and protect people and families. If we are doing what we're supposed to do, there's a safeguard that exists. I mean, truly, economies function the way they do today because of insurance. So it's a noble thing that we are doing and participating in. You can catch that as a part of your life's role, participating in that noble industry of insurance. So do you have a life's work? Have you identified it that way, other than this is just a job? Because if it is just a job and it is just a function, then you're absolutely right. Someone else can come in and fill that function. But if you're treating it as a role, it will be much harder to replace you because of what you bring to what is happening within that function. And actually, the word function at that point becomes responsibility. You see it as your responsibility. There's constant learning if you're playing a role. You realize that you know something and that you are doing well with that, but you always want to do better. There's constant teaching. You are teaching others how to do what you do, and you're showing them the value in it and how it serves and how it helps and what it produces. There's constant serving. And one of the things that Del Sol refers to in her book is caregiving. We have this lost art of caregiving that we've commoditized so many things. We've turned things into production. And when it comes to caregiving, we've thrown that to the side. We put very little value on it, which should not be the case in the least bit. Roles develop with time. It takes time to develop into a role. It doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of learning that has to take place. There's a lot of trust that has to be built. So roles take time to step into. And they identify not just production, but caregiving, as I said before. Let me read this to you from the book. The activity of production keeps a ledger of solid and verifiable values. The activity of caregiving, which corresponds to invisible values, watching over the mysteries. This is a beautiful way to say that. We do have things that we do have to produce. We do have things that we need to keep on a ledger. There is an importance in running a business, and those things have value. But if you take it and you layer on top of that this caregiving, this looking into the mysteries, the relationships, and everything else that are around us, it elevates and brings even greater value to the things that we're doing. We are nourished with material goods, culture and artistic appreciation, power and reputation. But the amount of vigilance, care, friendship, and patience that must be given to any person if he is not to be driven insane or to despair is almost literally incredible. People need us to step into our roles. With your job and the things that you're doing today, you can look at that and discern as the person that can be best to serve in that role, to be the one that is working in accounting, to be the one that's working in development, and truly see that as a life's work in whole with all the other roles that you have to play. Because there's not just one role you have to play, there's many roles, from family to friends. But this statement that she makes is incredible when it talks about what really needs attention and how important it is to be in tune with caregiving in the roles that we do, because people do require so much if they are to keep their sanity. We enjoy coming in the office and working with other people. There's something about us that wants to be in these type of relationships. And so it meets a need in the lives of others. The people that we are serving, they've called us, they've gone online, they've made a purchase from us, and they are looking to be educated, they're looking to be served, they have a need. And if we'll meet that, it really meets something on a human level. Our contemporary gives himself almost exclusively over to the enterprise of production. This can be clearly seen in his permanent need for recognition. Even his charitable actions require the presence of cameras. So in our roles, we can step beyond this particular statement. We can do our roles and do them well without waiting for somebody to give us the applause or to have the cameras rolling to give us the recognition. We do it because it's our life's work. We've decided to live out a role as opposed to just do a function. I hope you consider that, and I hope you'll look up Chantal Dussault's book, Icarus Fallen. It is an excellent book. It will take you a little bit of time to work through if you're really thinking it through. So I encourage you to chew on it. It has a lot to say about how we live in the world that we're in today.